Hiya. Sweet potato macaroni and cheese. This has been on my list of want to makes for a while now, and I'm really glad that I did. It is so delicious and creamy and rich. I'm telling you, it ticks every single box, and I think it's going to be perfect to have on your table for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Tabby. Let's get cooking. All right, guys, let's get this sweet potato and macaroni and cheese put together. This is going to be perfect for your Thanksgiving dinner. I'm telling you, it's the best combination of sweet potatoes and mac and cheese that you're ever going to eat. All right, the first thing we're going to do is take our 1 pound of peeled and chopped sweet potatoes, and we're going to put them in our boiling water, and we're going to boil them for about 10 minutes until they just start to get tender. We don't want them to be completely mushy. You just want them to get a little tender. Now we are going to salt our water also. We're just going to give it a really good dash of some salt. And that was probably about 1.5 teaspoons. And now we are going to give it a good little mix just to stir that salt in. And then we're going to let it go ahead and come back up to a boil. And like I said, we're going to let it boil for about 10 minutes. And when it's ready to take to the next step, I'll come back and we'll do it together. Hang tight. All right, guys, 10 minutes is up, and we're going to get these sweet potatoes pulled out of this water, and we're just going to strain them right out of the pan in my little slotted basket spoon there, and we're going to put them in our bowl. Now, I am going to hang on to this water because we're going to use this same sweet potato water to cook our pasta in just a few minutes. All right, like I said, we're going to hang on to that water for our pasta, but now I'm going to take a large fork, and I'm just going to press and mash those sweet potatoes up. We don't have to get them completely mashed. Just want to do a good job of just giving them a good smash. And then we are going to set those aside, and we're going to go on to the next step. All right, now in my saucepan, I've got 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and we're going to set that on our eye, and we're going to get it melting. And once that's completely melted, we're going to throw in some all-purpose flour, and we are creating our roux for our white sauce. And I'm pretty sure I said yum because I love a good white sauce in macaroni and cheese. Okay, our butter is all melted, so I'm putting our flour in, and we're just going to give that a good whisk and get that flour whisked into the butter. And we're going to let that just cook for a minute or two until it cooks out the flavor of the flour. All right, our roux is ready, so I'm going to pull it off of the heat, and I'm going to pour into it our whole milk. Now, I did not have any whole milk, so I took some heavy whipping cream and mixed it with my 2% milk. And here comes Dale. He was smelling something good, and he was curious about what was happening in the kitchen with Tabby. So he came to check and see how things were going, and so I was letting him know that I was making some sweet potato, macaroni, and cheese. Okay, our milk is all mixed in, so I'm going to put it back on the heat now, and we're going to bring that up to a nice simmer. And at this point, we're going to actually switch from our whisk to a wooden spoon. Now, I have this cute little wooden gadget. I really don't know what it's called. I bought it at a fair or a flea market down at the Maple Syrup Festival, Sugar Bush, last year. And it's a really cool tool because it's wooden. And you see that little tip on there, it gets right into the corner of the pan. So when you're mixing up a pudding or a roux or something like a cream sauce, it does a really good job of getting all the corners of the pan. And it's just a great little tool. I just really love it. I wish I knew what it was called, but the man handmade them, the man that I bought it from. But if you don't have one of those, you can use just a regular wooden spoon also. Okay, now we are going to get our pasta water boiling, which is actually our sweet potato water. And I'm using a pasta called Veggie Craft. And this is a zucchini flour, pea flour, and lentil flour pasta. So it's a little more diabetic and keto friendly for Dale. So that's what we're going to be using for our pasta. But you can use any pasta you'd like. All right, our white sauce is almost done, and I decided to get out my big, shallow bowl. It's a Pyrex bowl. It's a vintage bowl that I love very much, and I think I'm just going to put my sweet potatoes in there, and we're just going to do our baking and everything right in that bowl, and I think it's going to be really pretty to serve out of also. So our roux is coming to a nice simmer. I'm going to take it off of the heat now, and I'm going to finish putting those sweet potatoes into my big bowl. All right, back on the heat we go, and now we're going to add a couple of ingredients to our white sauce. So we have some Dijon mustard. We're going to put that Dijon mustard in there, and then we are also going to add a seasoning that's a little bit unique, I think. I was kind of surprised by it, but it really made it delicious and added a really good flavor. So we're going to add some paprika. Now this was a sweet paprika. You could probably use a smoked paprika as well if you wanted to add that little bit of a smoky flavor, but we went with just the regular sweet paprika. So we're going to get that all mixed in, bring that back up to a nice simmer, and get that Dijon mustard really well dissolved and incorporated, and the paprika incorporated. And now I'm going to go ahead and season it with a little bit of salt. Now you want to go kind of light with your salt because your cheese is pretty salty. So err on the side of less salt, and then you can always add some more later. And then we're also going to add some cracked pepper. All right, we're almost ready for the next step, guys. Hang tight and I will be right back. I won't do it without you. Okay, our pasta is done. Now, just a reminder, when you cook your pasta, you want to cook it according to the box directions, but you want to take it out of the water about 2 minutes before the box says. So my box said to cook it 8 to 10 minutes, so I took it out at 6 minutes. So at that extra 2 minutes, it's going to cook the rest of the way in the oven. But we're going to drain that pasta and we're going to get it out and put it right on top of our sweet potatoes. You can see there's the pot. So I'm using that same slotted basket spoon, and we're just going to put those pasta noodles right in on top of the sweet potatoes that we mashed. And I'm pretty sure at this part I was telling you about my big Pyrex bowl. I love this bowl. I bought it at an antique store, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And it's perfect for this type of dish. Whenever you need to make something like this and bake it right in the oven in this dish, you can pull it right out and serve it right out of this, and it is just beautiful for the presentation on your table. All right, so we are going to fold those mashed sweet potatoes right into our pasta. You just want to be kind of gentle. You don't want to break that pasta up if you can help it. So you're just going to fold those sweet potatoes in and get it nice and combined with the pasta. All right, next step, we are going to take some feta cheese, and you need about 3 ounces. This is a 12-ounce container, so we're going to use about 1/4 of it. And you're just going to sprinkle that feta cheese right over the top of your sweet potatoes and pasta. And if there are any large chunks, you want to just go ahead and kind of break those up a little bit so that they melt a little bit easier right into the pasta. So we're just, right there. We're just going to break those large chunks up and get it all ready to blend in with that pasta and sweet potatoes. All right, now we're going to fold that feta cheese into the hot pasta and sweet potatoes. It's not going to be fully melted, and that's okay. We just want to get it folded in and incorporated well. All right, here comes the fun. So we have our white sauce ready, and I have also shredded up some nice sharp cheddar cheese, and we're going to just alternate between the white sauce. Look how beautiful that is. It is such a pretty sauce. We're going to alternate between the sauce and the cheddar cheese. So we're going to pour a little sauce on, and we're going to sprinkle in some of our cheddar cheese. And then we're going to give it a good mix. And we're just going to get all of that sauce and cheese mixed in. All right, we're pouring the rest of our white sauce in. We're going to get that all poured in. Now, it looks like a lot of sauce, but your noodles are going to soak some of that up. Remember, we did not cook the noodles all the way. So we're going to give that a good stir and just get all of that cream, that beautiful white sauce, mixed into those noodles and the cheese and the sweet potatoes. All right, now we need to do just a little bit of quality control. We want to give it a little taste just to make sure that it doesn't need any more salt. And oh my word, it's really delicious. However, it did need just a little more salt. So we're just going to give it just a little pinch. I would say probably 1.5 pinches of salt. And then we're going to get that mixed in and go on to the next step. All right, take a look at that. I got the sides all cleaned off, and now we are going to take it to the next step, which is our last step. We're going to take the remainder of that cheddar cheese and just sprinkle it all over the top. Now, this is at your discretion. If you want to use more cheese, you can. I think we used a total of about 1.5 cups altogether in the macaroni and cheese and on top. But, of course, if you like it cheesier than that, you're welcome to put more cheese. And there you have it. I think I mouthed that perfectly right over the video. That is too funny. All right, this is going to go in a 400-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes, and then it's going to be begging us to eat it, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be absolutely amazing. So we're going in. All right, I'm going to set my timer, 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to set it for 30. We're going to start there and see how it looks. And when it's done and ready to come out, I'll come back and we will taste it together. Hang tight, guys. Friends, the timer just went off. It smells so good. I can't wait for you to see it. Hang on. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh. This is one of those times when I really wish you could smell it. It smells amazing. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, I'm gonna let it sit for just a minute. Let it set up just for a minute or two, and then I'll come back and we're gonna plate this up and try it. I can't wait. I'll be right back. All right, let's give it a taste, guys. I've let it sit for just a few minutes. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Oh, look at that. That is some delicious macaroni and cheese. And I can't wait to try it with the sweet potato in there. I think it is going to be so, so good. All right. It's nice and hot. Thank you, Lord, for this food. Amen. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you guys. That is so creamy. Oh my gosh. I didn't know if the sweet potatoes were going to make that big of a difference, but they really did. They add a nice little taste, like a, I don't know, it's almost just like a little bit of a sweet flavor to it with that sweet potato in there. But the cheeses, the mixture of the feta with the cheddar, just enough paprika and that mustard. You wouldn't know mustard was in there if you didn't know it, but I feel like it's really amped it up a little bit. It's made it a little more bougie, as my niece would say. That's definitely going to be on our Christmas dinner table. All right, friends, that's it for today's video. I sure hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you make yourself some sweet potato macaroni and cheese. You are going to be really surprised with how delicious and creamy and rich it tastes. Absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark, in my opinion. All right, remember, when you do make it, make sure you post a photo and tag me in it so I can see what you're cooking. I love to know what's happening in your kitchen, and I love using your photos as the banners in our group page, Cooking Within the Kitchen with Tabby. And speaking of that, that's where you're going to find the link for this recipe if you're watching on Facebook. It will be in our group page, Cooking Within the Kitchen with Tabby. That's where I post the links for the videos just to keep me out of trouble with Facebook. If you're watching on Instagram, the link will be in the comments, and on YouTube, my subscribers, you guys know you can find it two places. The first will be in the comments. The second place will be in the full description. So if you click on the more right underneath this video, it will open up the full description and you'll see a link to the video there. All right, guys, I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope it gets better and better every minute that goes by. And I also hope you remember that Christ is the unseen guest at every dinner table and the silent listener at every conversation. So just make sure those words coming out of your mouth are pure and sweet like honey, that you're lifting each other up, loving on each other, and shining your light bright, because that's what we're called to do. I love you guys so very much, but Christ loves you even more than I do, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.